Emmanuel Amunike has scored for Nigeria. Goal that wins the first ever footballing gold medal for Nigeria.
To continue their impressive run so as to place Edo State in the continental map.
Toby Amazon, look at the clock. I cannot believe it. She's done it again. 2 world records in one night. And she makes history by becoming Nigeria's first world champion.
Alex Iwobi decides to go early. Chukwueze shapes the shoot, gets some spaces. Osimhen.
Yes, a new dawn for Nigerian sports with the return of the National Sports Commission, and a sports administrator that has been in the wilderness for a while has been given the responsibility to now turn things around as far as governing sports in Nigeria is concerned. The man, Dikko, finally makes a return in grand style, and those who thought it is finished can now see that sometimes the rejected stone can just simply turn out to be the cornerstone. My name is Marty Okugbe saying welcome once more. Another exciting episode of Sportsville awaits so much to truly savor as far as today's package is concerned. We'll be talking about the CAF Awards, and the nominees are out for the top 10, as well as some other stories making the rounds as far as the ever exciting water sports is concerned. We'll be looking at grassroots football, and this time around we'll be talking five-a-side. We have someone in the studio who is set to do a big thing as far as the world of five-a-side football is concerned. The top guns are in the house. Tony Ubani, the big man himself, as well as Raymond Aquarere, and together we are set to sail. At the other side, we get to unveil our guests, and we go on gun blazing. Stick around.
Download OneXBet app and enjoy the variety of sports anytime, anywhere. OneXBet app at the heart of the game.
Yes, we are super excited to be back. I hope you guys are also set for what we have to truly serve on today's package. Tony Ubani is here. We're saying welcome to the big man himself, Tony Ubani. Tony, what a week.
A very splendid week. Of course, a week filled with a lot of activities and, of course, appointments that we have seen here and there. And indeed, it's one that we just have to dissect on this program, to know indeed if it's one that is good for Nigerian sports or one that is retrogressive. But as it is, I think that there are some good news in terms of Nigerians on the CAF list, Matthew.
Yes, interesting. And we also have Raymond Akpare in the building. Raymond, the man that loves the Nigeria Football Federation so much. Let's see how Raymond will bring the NFF into the whole appointment of Dikko as the chairman of the National Sports Commission. Raymond, feels great to have you back.
Yeah, what else to say than to say welcome, Shehu Dikko. Welcome to Sportsville. This is where we say it as it is. I hope he remembers that's how we do it exactly. So no hold back. We always say it the way it is. Once again, welcome. Just take it the way we see you.
And we talked about an individual also in our midst who is here to talk plenty of grassroots football development. This time we're talking the Spurs 5-a-side football tournament that will be going down in Lagos. We have Victor Otta in the house. Victor, you're making a return to our studio and it feels great to have you with us.
It feels great to be back on the show, and many things are happening in the space of sports and also in grassroots sports as well. So all of the vibes we're going to be getting on this show, all of the vibes that is happening on 5-a-side football, I'll be filling you in as the show progresses.
Yes, interesting. And we'll start with a big one in the course of the week. Shehu Dikko finally makes a return in grand style. As we speak, we must put it out there. It happens. He is the #1 man as far as sports governance is concerned in Nigeria. No other senior officer, we must put it out there. Shehu Dikko is the man. Tony Ubani, in the course of the week, we never saw this coming, but the presidency felt that there needs to be a change. There needs to be a redirection of Nigerian sports. The return of the National Sports Commission under the able leadership of Shehu Dikko.
Yeah, Matthew, indeed it was a shock. Nobody expected it, and honestly, nobody even thought about Shehu Dikko. And the National Sports Commission has been in the mix for some time. People have really been talking about it, coming. Nobody expected that it was coming, but then, like a boat out from the blues, indeed, here it comes, and bringing a very familiar face, somebody who has been around sports, coming around. Somebody who has really been working in football, and of course a marketer of repute. We all know Shehu Dikko. It's a familiar face, we welcome him, but then there are also some other things about Shehu Dikko that people may not know. We're talking about the National Sports Commission. We thought we could have just been somebody, that has everything, somebody that is not, tending towards football, because as it is, that Shehu Dikko, all his credentials has always been football. And indeed, it also shows that football is going to have a lion's share. But talk about experience, talk about a man who knows, Shehu Dikko has all the requisite experience and of course, the certificates that really suits him into this. But then how he handles other sports is one thing that everybody is complaining or, thinking about. And if you remember his days in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Matthew, it wasn't just a very jolly ending for him. The Nigerian Football League, did not really blossom as it is now. But Matthew, like they say, it's not the hood. The hood does not make a monk.
Yes.
Changing the National Sports Commission, or embracing the National Sports Commission, and then dumping the Minister of Sports will not bring joy overnight for Nigerian sports. I think the most important thing, Matthew, is attitude. And of course, transparency, accountability, and then, being very honest.
Raymond, Dikko needs professionals, personalities with the right CV to support him to succeed in running the affairs of sports in Nigeria, especially with the National Sports Commission going forward. At this time, you have several other persons hitting themselves, wants to be the best friend of Dikko, wants to act as though they know Dikko from the day he was conceived in their mother's womb, despite the whole issue that happened before now. What must Dikko do to ensure that the level of acceptance that greeted the announcement of his appointment by Mr. President do not fade out after just a couple of months?
Well, I cannot remember much about Shehu Dikko. Handsome man ever there when it was a league management company. He had a lot of initiatives, a lot of ideas. Some of them he could not really realize, but definitely I remember that he was trying to really make our league, get better appreciated. He could not really achieve all. But perhaps what I should say about this matter is the fact that for once we have a situation whereby Mr. President listened to many stakeholders about National Sports Commission. That is what I can really say about. Many interviews, many guys and women I've spoken to, they've always spoken about the need for National Sports Commission to return. That Nigeria achieved its best, talk about all-time best in sports through the National Sports Commission, right from the time of Amos Adamu to the other men who have been there at different times, or the other. It has been success story. And most of these stakeholders keep saying that Nigeria can rule the world again when the National Sports Commission returns. It's a place that admits the real technocrats,
yes,
true stakeholders who have proved themselves at one time or the other. Both past and present athletes, they harp on the need for NSC to return. Here is the NSC, not saddled or not under the control of Shehu Dikko, who I see as a football man. Perhaps the presidency have seen some other qualities in him. Like Tony said, we want somebody that can touch all spheres of our sports. People who can really make our athletes to be at their best. We don't want a chairman who's stuck in trade will be to issue press releases.
Yes.
As we saw in the last dispensation, any visitor, it has to be press release, or you see a minister, then get post minister taking photographs with one news suit or the other. We want somebody who is going to work. We want a situation whereby the NSC that many Nigerians have clamored for will be seen as working, having the right people in different federations, different departments, technocrats being in charge. Actually, I hope this Shehu Dikko will leave more memories in my head. As I said, I knew him as a football man. I don't know him as a man who is involved in other sports, other areas, other spheres of sports. I hope he's going to really tell us other parts that we should really remember so easily.
So,
Matthew.
Tony, briefly before we come to Victor, Shehu Dikko, I've seen the likes of Amaju Pinnick. Amaju Pinnick was on national TV in the course of the week, and I spoke glowingly about the CV and the quality of the man, Shehu Dikko. That there is no better person on the face of the earth to have been saddled with that responsibility of turning Nigerian sports around than Shehu Dikko. He said beyond football, Shehu Dikko has traveled the length and breadth of the world to garner knowledge as far as sports management is concerned. Shehu Dikko, aside the old razzmatazz, the old clouds around his personality, is he truly the man? Because it is an enormous task.
Absolutely, Matthew. I think that Shehu Dikko is a very smart person. You can't take it away from him. Talk about smartness, talk about intelligence, talk about, charismatics. He has almost everything. But I think that Shehu Dikko should really be very wary, so many sweet words, coming to him. Like Raymond did say, I think that since the announcement, there has not been a lot of praise singing for Shehu Dikko.
Continuing.
I think that Shehu Dikko should decipher those who are singing so that they can also get on board. And indeed, I think it's making me to get worried, Matthew, that so many people now are trying as much as possible. There's a cabal, people who are building themselves.
Waiting to hijack the entire system.
Fences. They want to hijack everything. And that's exactly what I said earlier when I said that the hood does not make the monk. Shehu Dikko, we all know, is a football person, but I also know him as a marketing guru, with such experiences. I think he should apply it to something that will be very beneficial, to Nigerian sports instead of looking at his friends. He has a lot of friends in football circles. He is now in charge of Nigerian sports and not just football. Football is just, one sport under, him. And indeed, he should show, from the beginning by hitting the ground running and letting Nigerians know that truly, Nigerian sports will come alive under his administration.
Yes, Raymond, before we go on a break, let me, because some persons have this fear that the entire sports ecosystem can might just be tilted towards the development of football with the emergence of Dikko. Remember, Amaju Pinnick was on national TV in the course of the week, and he also said something that gets some of us kind of worried. He said his team now runs sports in Nigeria, and he happens to be the head of that team, in which I am absolutely not comfortable with. He said the emergence of Dikko automatically means his team now runs sports in Nigeria. And he said he is the head of that team. What do you make of this statement?
You said you watched him.
Yes.
You watched him say so.
I saw him on Arise TV.
I think that was just unnecessary pride, so to say. If you know Amaju very well, you can excuse him because that is his nature. Perhaps trying to tell us that, in his time, the creme de la creme in terms of achievements and all are coming through him. As far as I'm concerned, his era is over. It's not going to be a one-man show under this arrangement. We remember the problems he created with Nigerian Football Federation. The federation that he dictates everything he wants to do, including getting coaches and all of that. Gusso and co are still struggling to get a proper coach because the channel was not well open to everybody. You don't just travel to London, go to Europe and bring a coach for Nigeria. So guys are still struggling to do that. We know his place as far as Nigerian football, Nigerian sports is concerned. This is Dikko. I have said that those who brought him perhaps have seen something great in him outside football, but I know him as a football person. And if he wants us to remember him, depends on how he handles this top job, National Sports Commission, that many serious-minded Nigerians are craving for. We don't want to hear about pride or hot tea persons and all of that. Let's stay with seriousness. And I think that's what Sportsville is all about.
Yes, interesting. We say all the best to Shehu Dikko. We'll continue to monitor proceedings and say it just the way it is. The way it has been said today, plenty of praise, plenty of support. I must tell you, if this goes south, it must also be said just the way we've made it known today on the show. At the other side, we'll be talking plenty of grassroots football. Remember, Lagos is a go for Spice five-a-side football tournament. So much to truly savor as far as that is concerned. And Victor will be telling us all we need to know as we build up to the event proper. Stick around.
Download OneXBet app and enjoy the variety of sports anytime, anywhere. OneXBet app at the heart of the game.
Yes, the show is still Sportsville. It's time to talk plenty of grassroots football. It is the Spurs five-a-side street soccer tournaments going down in Lagos. We've seen previous events from several divisions in Lagos, and this time around the top 8 teams are ready to do battle. We have Victor Otta in the house. Victor, let me just keep my words and what you tell us what we need to know.
Well, thank you very much, Matthew. Well, it's not actually the top 8 teams. It's actually the last 16 teams. So right now we are actually gearing up for the November edition of the state tournament. We've had already, as you know, we've had the divisional stages of the 40 teams. We've had over 400 players participating. And at the end of the day, we've come to streamline or filter all of these teams to just the 16 teams, top teams that gave us the best in razzle dazzle of street football. So at the end of the day, we are looking to begin the tournament proper on the 19th of November. It should run through to the 7th of December. But before that, we shall be having our proper unveiling, where we shall be having the draws for the teams on how they are going to meet, who the teams they are going to be pitched against, and how the whole tournament is going to be engaged. As far as the tournament is concerned, we are all looking ahead to it because, like I explained to you earlier, the first time I came to the show, you should have seen the electricity, the dazzling, the technique, the vibrancy of these youths that came into play. So we expect more because at this point we've only gotten, because at the beginning I could say, okay, maybe I could vouch for a few of the teams, but right now I cannot just say that this team is going to go away with it. But one thing is sure, several players are going to come out as key players. So we are inviting scouts, we're inviting media personalities like you, and other media houses to be a part of this. And I'm sure when they come in, you're going to see the talents that we're going to be mining from the state tournament come November 19th.
Tony, you have a few things to talk to Victor about?
Yeah, Victor, it's I think that when it comes to grassroots, I think that's where Nigeria's future depends on. And indeed, that's why we should take, this Spies five-a-side very seriously. And I do know that, Spies, your company, are just one that is really very, very, credible in terms of molding talents.
Yes.
From what you've seen, in bringing down the number from 400 to about
16 teams.
From 40 teams to 16 teams.
Okay, 40 teams to 16 teams. What do you think of the talents that you have seen so far?
Mr. Tony, they are just been marvelous talents. At the point, it was looking like we should still keep some of the players to still play. But at the end of the day, qualifying determines those who progresses. I remember at the Korodu divisions, there were key strikers who, with a touch of class, many of them were giving us the kind of games, the kind of things we see on international stages. So we see players like Victor. We see players like in the Ikeja division, we actually had two
quality youths.
Yeah, no, top scorers, joint top scorers at the end of the day, because it was so hard, but at the end of the day, they were able to, but it was coming from the same team. They were able to blend. So I believe with the development of football, with the development of grassroots football and the area to which we are pushing all of this, in the near future, as we progress, Spires 5-a-side will be able to boast and say, okay, 1, 2, 3 players in the top league and in the national team is a product of the first.
Maybe you can tell us what can be won too. What's available for these stars?
Of course, at the end of the day, what motivates players to play? It's fine. The first is the love of the sport. The love of the sport comes in, but then beyond that, what do you get? Spires 5-a-side is now looking at we already looked at the parts that, okay, at the end of the day, we need to motivate them. So the monetary aspect is there. So from the divisional stage already, like we said, every division got cash prizes. Even top goal scorers got cash prizes. The best performing team got cash prizes. So at the state tournament, expected to be bigger. They're going to be getting cash prizes for first, second, and third. So for the unveiling, we'll be having the draws, and then we'll be expecting the teams to register, because we want to ensure that normal and due protocols are followed to the latter.
Yes, interesting. We want to say initiative of this nature must be supported to grow sports and not just only football. Personalities who can also come up with events of this kind to catch young talent. The next generation of Victor Osimhen might just be discovered with the 5-a-side football tournament. At the other side of the show, we'll be talking about the CAF Awards, Nigerian nominations. Finally, with plenty of smiles, the likes of Ademola Lookman Ekong as well as Stanley Nwabale are in the mix for some very interesting honors as far as the CAF Awards is concerned.
Download OneXBet app and enjoy the variety of sports anytime, anywhere. OneXBet app at the heart of the game.
Super Eagles stars William Portus Ekong as well as Ademola Lookman are in the running. Precisely, they are in the last 10 shortlist for the CAF Men's Player of the Year for 2024. Not to forget our own goalkeeper Stanley Nwabale is also gunning for the best goalkeeper as far as the continent is concerned. All road leads to Morocco on the 16th of December for the award proper. But now let's look at the chances of these players. We thought that Victor Boniface should be in pole position for this one, but he couldn't make the last 10 shortlist. Tony Ubani.
Yeah, I think that it's getting clearer that a Nigerian is going to succeed another Nigerian. And that, to me, clearly, seeing the future, predicting the future, I see
Ademola Lookman.
Ademola Lookman, succeeding Victor Osimhen. It's I think that he had a very incredible performances, during the year in review. And of course, his performances with the Super Eagles at the African Cup of Nations, with his goals, with his dazzles, with his runs, with his pace, he brought so much vim and vitality to bear anytime he plays at the national team. And indeed, that to me shows that he's the man, to beat for the African Footballer of the Year.
Tony, Raymond, the chances of Ademola Lookman, Victor Boniface not in the mix, the performance of Lookman at the AFCON, and not to take anything away from our captain. He also had a very splendid outing at the AFCON. William Troost-Ekong.
Doing well. William Troost-Ekong, even as age is not very much on his side, it's always showing that enthusiasm, that determination to excel. A great leader from all indications. I wouldn't bother much about Victor Boniface. I'd rather remind him to bring those goals he scores in Germany. Bring them to the Super Eagles. Let's see those goals. Let's see how we also celebrate with him when it is Nigeria. But for Ademola Lookman, I can tell you, most likely the next African Footballer of the Year. He has everything going for him. Scoring well in his club, doing well for Nigeria at every point in time. Of course, I won't be surprised anyway when I know that Hashim Akrimi, the Moroccan is still very much
also
there.
In the mix.
There's the Ivorian.
Yes.
Talk about Adingi.
Adingi is also in the mix.
He played so well as far as the last Nations Cup is concerned. But Victor Osimhen has been very,
Ademola
Lookman has been very active in colours of Atalanta. A young man always striving to make his mark in every encounter. For our goalkeeper, talk about Stanley Wambale, doing so well in his club in South Africa. But I know there's always going to be this Ronwell Williams, the South African goalkeeper, always favored most of the time. But I know very well that we'll have a good goalkeeper in Stanley Wambale. Thank God without that worry of before when it has to do with goalkeeping. But for next African Footballer of the Year, I want to believe it is Ademola Lookman. Hoping it will not look like it was when JJ, that one had in mind, will win in Cameroon. I was in Yaoundé. I won't forget it. Suddenly, there was Samuel Eto'o emerging a winner. May not be so this time around. I think the crown fits Ademola Lookman this time around.
We might just be doing a breeze in this one.
Don't forget Super Eagles are also in the running as far as team of the year
is concerned. But I also feel that might just be going to the Ivorian team because CAF has a way of tilting it towards a team that won the AFCON. So I think we say all the best. Let's see how that pans out. December 16th, the date.
Marrakesh.
For the CAF Awards. At the other side, we'll be talking the NPFL as we sign out.
Take off into a world of casino games and find your new favorites. Play a few rounds of roulette and see if Lady Luck's on your side. Land those winning combinations in slots and take a hefty bite out of that jackpot. Discover much more games on the 1xBet, where fortune awaits.
Yes, it's time to talk the Nigeria Professional Football League in our own, and we must continue to do all we can to support the league to grow and become as vibrant, as interesting as the English Premier League and other top leagues in the world. Just like yesterday, it is March 9 in the NPFL, and we're looking at some very interesting fixtures. Our Shooting Stars will be at home against Kwara United. Nasarawa United would lock ons against Kano Pillars. Rivers United will entertain El Kanemi Warriors. Plateau United will file out against Sunshine Stars. Heartland will be at home against Remo Stars. These are some of the fixtures, and we're also looking at other games. Eimba would be at home against an Ikorodu City side that seems to have turned the corners. Turned the corners in their last two games. The conversation continues across all our social media platforms on your screen at this time. We keep talking sports 24/7. I remain Matthew Kugbe. We'll do it again next week. Bye for now.
Emmanuel Amunike has scored for Nigeria. Goal that wins the first ever footballing gold medal for Nigeria.
To continue their impressive run to place Edo State in the continental map.